The Truth is Funny with Colette Stefan will have you thinking outside the box and riding the wave of infinite potential. Join Colette on the Higher Self Network as she provides energetic shifts and consistent results in every area of life, inspiring listeners to shine their brilliance and ensure success. Many people who shift out of limiting beliefs roar with laughter as they recognize the humor of the giant cosmic joke. The truth is funny. Shift happens. Feel instant relief. Stay tuned for more fun and release struggle and suffering. And now, here's your host, Colette Stefan.
Hi, everyone. This is Colette Marie Stefan. Welcome to The Truth is Funny on Transformation Talk Radio. I am here today. I'm excited to say that I have my first Nuggets of Wisdom show, which I've decided to start doing. I've had a lot of interest in my book lately. This is my book here, and it's called The Truth is Funny, Shift Happens, Stuff You Wish Your Mom Had Known to Tell You. So this book came into being about 2015 is when it was first published. And I'm happy to say it's been out there now for about, almost 5 years. And it is gaining momentum as people start to use it. So I just wanted to say that we are taking callers today. And so I'm more than happy to shift anything that you would like to have me shift. This is kind of something new that I wanted to do, where instead of using the dragon cards, that I would have a show at the last Wednesday of every month, where I would focus on the book and how to use my book. And first, I just wanted to say that you can call in 1-800-930-2819, and we will make some shift happen as usual. And if you just have questions or you want to, just get an energetic shift, have something going on in your life, either what you perceive as good or bad, that we could energetically tune in and make sure we can make some shift happen with it. What I'd like to do is just focus on one area of the book. And because in the back of my book, there's, I was just going to share some little notes of how best to use this book. So in my book, if you're brave enough, you could read the whole thing. This is about, at that time when I wrote this book, it was about 10 years of experience working with people, sharing information at seminars, and working with people from all around the world, different cultures, and, taking all the modalities that I had studied and putting it all together and compiling this information. So this book isn't actually meant to be read all at once, although some people have done that. There's a lot of information in it. I think it's 531 pages. And so I just wanted to explain that, like, for this book, the way that I use it is when I'm feeling like not neutral to what's going on. If I, even for myself, if I just think about the issue that's bothering me, then I can take this and just open it up. And what comes up here right away was family. So that's kind of funny. So this is how people use my book. And quite often at talks, when I give my Shift Happens live event talks, I'll just hand the person the book that I'm working with and just say, check it out. Where does it land? And we're finding it's really hilarious how just at the last, we just had a Shift Happens live talk event on Friday night. And the main issue in the audience was the people that were coming up, the first 2 or 3 were saying that, they just couldn't see really their true essence. And they were having a challenging time seeing their own beauty. And that's what I was working on. And so when I handed the book to one of those people, she opened it up right away to the karmic space of jealousy. And that's blindness to your own beauty. And this is how the book has been gaining, as I said, momentum. My intention when I wrote it was that when people were using this book, that it would automatically shift whatever leading weakness in the moment was regarding the subject or the issue that they have. Now, the funny thing about the book is it doesn't always land exactly on the category or of what the person thinks it is. The book kind of guides towards what it really is. And when you have an energetic weakness, would be very, very rare indeed for you to actually for it to actually be what you think it is. It's when we're doing energy work, we're going with feeling. So tips for reading the book. So the subjects, there's a catalog of subjects in the book, and it's towards the back. And I'm just going to show you here. So they're all listed alphabetically. So everything in this book is listed alphabetically. And so there's, I can't even remember how many categories. But things such as I have addiction and affirmations, age reversal, allergies, ancestors and descendants, arthritis, aspects of life, associations. So this is they're in the book in alphabetical order, so that if you're looking for a specific category that you can. Also, something that's different in my book is that as you're reading my book, what happens is there are some words that are bolded, and then there's some words that are bold italic. And that is just because the ones that are bold mean that this is something like on the physical level, in the physical environment. And the ones that are bold italic, those words are things that are non-physical, like that could be emotional, mental, psychic energies, karma, etc. And so there's also a lot of anatomy in my book, and it's not that you need to understand really the anatomy so much as to as you read it, it's just I'm putting together the leading weaknesses. So about 80% of generally 80% of any energetic weakness would be energetically shifted. And so we just want to like physical and non-physical. That's throughout the entire book. And so when you're reading the book, if a word stands out, that means that there's an energetic weakness there. And so it's just as you read the book, you'll notice certain words like stand out more than others. And then the other thing was that in the book, it'll have an EU, energetic upgrade. And that means that if you're reading along and all of a sudden you really get triggered by what you're reading in the book, then you can it'll have EU, and it'll give you a suggested area where to send you to another area of the book. And then, because that would be the leading weakness for 80% of the time in the general population, in the collective influence. Yet we tend to have the same fears and certain things going on in the world. Astronomical or astrological effects. These things all have an effect on us. So what happens is we tend towards the same energetic weaknesses, but the reasons why one person would be bothered by something to the extent that it would perhaps make them physically ill, and for someone else it wouldn't be that much of an effect, is because we are all very unique individuals. We operate as human beings. We operate on many existences of time and space. And we also are dealing with a lot of other external forces. And we're also dealing with our subconscious, unconscious, and conscious mind. And so it's very challenging sometimes for people to remain neutral when all of this shift is going on. And so when we're in a place of neutrality, we are able to get strong energetically, get into alignment, and be able to handle the absolute worst case scenario, as well as being able to handle the absolute best case scenario. And when we are strong energetically on either side of that, we are able to be like in the neutral zone, when anything in between. And so I also want to talk about the side effects of energetic work. So when people are energetically being letting go and releasing toxins and poisons out of their body, and these toxins can be just also non-physical. So as people do that, they release through the body. So the most efficient way is the colon and the bladder. And quite often, when we just had a seminar here this weekend, I'm going to talk about that when we come back. But just to let you know that when you're energetically clearing, it's not unusual to want to release through the body, through urinating and through the bowels. And also, it can also be through sweating, sneezing, coughing. These are all ways that people express when they are allowing themselves to release energies that they no longer want to hold on to. This is Colette Marie Stefan. You're listening to The Truth is Funny on Transformation Talk Radio. We'll be right back after this short break. 1-800-930-2819 if you would like to phone in and have something energetically shifted, or just to ask a question, or just to say hi. We love to hear from you. We'll be right back. Hello, everyone. This is Colette Marie Stefan, and this is my co-host today. This is Stella. She's decided she's come to join us for maybe a minute or two. You're listening to Transformation Talk. The Truth is Funny on Transformation Talk Radio. And today I'm talking about my book, The Truth is Funny, Shift Happens, Stuff You Wish Your Mom Had Known to Tell You. I also am taking calls, 1-800-930-2819. And if you want to call in and get something shifted, you're more than welcome to, or if you just have a question. I just was going to share also with you that we just had, quite a busy week, or a couple of weeks. We were out at the Holistic Fair on the Sunday. And interestingly enough, that day the transition card kept coming up more and more and more. And transition is like the big thing that a lot of people are going through right now. A lot of people changing jobs, changing where they're living, changing relationships, etc. So there's a lot that there's always a card that's picked at the fair that's picked the most, and so transition, and also people concerned with world events, basically. And so we did the Holistic Fair and had fun there. And then I had my teleconferences, that the Be Irresistible, and then the Float Your Boat, which I'm really happy to say are starting to really also get some really amazing results. And then we had on Friday night, we had the Shift Happens Live Talk event. And it was really, really cool. We had a lot of people, a lot of feedback from the last one. It seems like that maybe I should go into real estate as the people, there was a lot of people at the last few calls that were moved. As I said, there's a lot of people moving. And pretty much everyone in the audience sold their house, pretty quickly, or bought the one that they wanted. And so, and also people looking for a new situation. And so there was a lot of positive feedback from everyone regarding that. And we had, a woman that came out of a coma, and, she's doing really well. Her friend was had worked with me, and she was, in a coma for 2 weeks, and she when she came to, and now we've managed to strengthen the situation around her. We had someone also whose mother was placed in care in 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 a seniors dementia psych ward, and now she is placed in a much better place. We've also had at the seminar people dealing with sick people, people having to have operations, sick in the hospital, etc. So these are all things that when I do a seminar, what I do is I like to really focus in on what the people there are going through, or what they want to accomplish and what they want to work on, and then that's what we do together in groups and work on. So, and this after today, then the next event will be this coming Friday night again. I'm having the last Shift Happens Live Talk event for the year, and that will be for this year. And then I'm having the Layer 4 seminar, and so that one you already have to have the 1, 2, and 3 for. But I will be having a baby steps, which is I will be having a baby steps, which is on October 19th. That's a Saturday afternoon. So right here in Kelowna at the Canada Hotel. So what's going on for a lot of people right now is there's a lot of politics right now, and that's something I want to get into talking about. But we have a caller calling in now, so I just would like to take this call. Carter, if you could just
Yeah, we have Janet from Kelowna. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Good morning.
Hey Janet, how are you doing? Are your muscles are your muscles a little stiff? I have the best dragon sayers. We like to have fun. So once you've completed the course, the foundation of my course, which is the first 4, you're an official modern day dragon sayer. And so I have a couple that I have a few people that are in town still because they're attending both the Layer 3 and the Layer 4 seminars. And these 2 lovely women have volunteered yesterday and we moved something like 4 yards of dirt and we cleaned the chandelier at the front door, and oh my goodness, we got so much done. And I want to thank you and Jeannie for doing that. It was a lot of fun working with you yesterday. Is there something that you wanted to work on here today?
Yes, but also before we do that, I'd like to thank you because I do have the friend staying over, and the correction or the shift that you did on my cat, he is no longer scratching at her door in the morning, so she's having a very good time after all of that. Great sleep after working yesterday. And we put your cards up. We put your cards up based on what we learned in the class as well, and she had a great night's sleep. And so the issue that we could work on, if you would like, is she's from Saskatchewan and I'm from British Columbia, and certainly there's a lot of political stuff happening between the 2 places, but just the dynamics between in relationships, and I'm a new grandmother, so whatever the weakness is that comes up for me in that area would be awesome to work on.
Yeah, when you get in touch with that, the idea of having like a close friend and having them stay together, and yet having differences, I guess, of political opinion, possibly, on a scale of 0 to 10, 10 being like this really, really bothers me, and 0, hey, I got this, I'm totally neutral to it. Where are you on that scale?
Sometimes it's a 7.
Okay. And so this is interesting because this is what I was perceiving as a leading weakness for a lot of people right now, because we do have an election going on. And I've noticed on Facebook that people they're getting into that argument with, they say never discuss politics, religion. The thing is that for a lot of people, the elections, the constant talk about it is what's weakening. And so, yeah, there's a big difference. I'm from Saskatchewan also, and so there's a big difference in many of the ideologies between the different provinces. And that's always been the history of Canada, really. We have a tendency to, we're a very large country, we're very diverse. And so the first energetic shift that I would like to say is coming up for you and for everyone in this position when there's a difference of opinion is purposeful communication. And so if we use purposeful communication, that means, you don't have to be, you don't have to attend every argument you're invited to. So, and, when we are talking about purposeful communication, there's, an argument isn't like when people just get louder and louder. If someone's, having an argument is like, it's stating your opinion regarding the politics or whatever, or what's going on in the province. The big difference that I'm getting between Saskatchewan and British Columbia is that the tendency towards the organic as opposed to non-organic. And so for a lot of people in British Columbia, what I noticed when I moved here is, it's much easier to get organic food. It's much easier to be vegan or a vegetarian here. People in British Columbia have a tendency to be a little bit more open-minded in some ways. There's it's the energy, like if there was a hippie central, I say that, for people that are organic, that people would maybe classify as hippies or that kind of more of an alternative way of living, a different lifestyle is what's coming up. So just coming from, because it is so much colder in Saskatchewan, the winters are harsher. It's just a little bit easier to live here, I find. And so it's coming up, the difference between where people come from and where they're going. And so, we are like all beautiful in our own way. And there's, Canada is a huge country. And the thing that I love the most about Saskatchewan is the beautiful sunsets and sunrises, because you can see them, and the thunderstorms and the lightning. It's just incredible to watch. Having said that, I prefer here less snow, less cold, lakes, mountains, trees. And so it's what's paradise for one person could be something that another person does not wish to really entertain. And so we're just going to strengthen everybody's ability to be able to really open up to other people's opinions. And what's coming up is just not having judgment around that. And so energetically, while I'm talking, I've been just, as I've been speaking, I've been sort of tuning into the leading weaknesses for not just in your situation, but for people that are arguing politics, et cetera, right now. And so I just wanted to check in with you and just see, has your number changed?
Yes, it's much lower. And I happen to have your book, which I think is amazing. There's been a number of times that the shifts have been just huge. And I also like the fact that you can get it on Kindle and then actually search for a specific thing. But when I opened up your book today, it was to page 378, and the good news: average person uses at best 4% of his or her potential. And then below that was pets. So I thought,
oh, that's interesting. Yeah. We have to go for a break here. This is Colette Marie Stefan. If you want to hang on, we'll see if we can get you all the way down to 0 when we return. But we have to take a short break right now. You can call in 1-800-930-2819. Let's make some shift happen. Hi, everyone. This is Colette Marie Stefan, and this is little Stella, my co-host today. You're listening to The Truth is Funny on Transformation Talk Radio. You can reach me at thetruthисfunny.com, and you can also see my Tales from the Vector, my paintings. Those are on talesfromthevector.com, TAILS. And today we're talking first nuggets of wisdom from the Vector Show, because I'm starting to share a little bit more information regarding my book. And we have callers that have phoned in. We've had Janet patiently waiting through the break here. I just wanted to check in with you, Janet. We were talking about kind of difference of opinion and feeling kind of caught in the middle between two, different ideologies or ways of thinking. And so you were at a 7 and it had dropped down to 3. Where are you at now?
I'm neutral now. Thank you very much.
Oh, that's good. And I'm glad that the cat's letting Jeannie sleep because we shoveled a lot of dirt yesterday.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We also have another caller here, but before, because I don't want to forget to mention this, we're talking about change and how so many people are going through so much change. And I was kind of sad to hear that that Carter, our producer, this will be his last show with us here. I just want to say, Carter, thank you for all your wonderful work and for producing these for us throughout this last while. And welcome. I find it kind of funny. My new producer is Kat. So I think we'll all get along just fine. And Carter, you said we have another caller here.
Yeah, we have Eulith from Vancouver. Welcome to the show.
Hello.
Hi, Eulith. You made it back home safe and sound, did you?
Yes, I did. I'm already ready for number 4 and to get going on that one. So I'm hoping to make it there and back again.
Well, I'm sure that will that's this coming Friday. So, you attended the layer 3 and, you had some good news happening for you. And
absolutely.
What would you like to work on now? Like, is there something in particular? Or did you phone in to say hi? What's going on?
I wanted to say thank you, actually, because the depth of these corrections, sometimes when you say them, it's very hard to get the depth of it. And the way things are unfolding since the 2 years that you've been working with me and changing my life, like, I just wanted to call in and say that out loud, because it's been such a good experience. Like, I'm not saying it's easy.
Yeah. Rarely do people rise to the occasion when they're comfortable.
Exactly. And the beauty of what's happened in these 2 years is seriously profound for me. I mean, I just wanted to say that.
Well, thank you for calling in and saying that. I'm so looking forward to seeing you again this coming weekend. I know it's a bit of a long drive, but
it's worth it.
Yeah. So, I'm so glad that, that your life is moving forward in the direction that you want it to. And what I find the most fun about the whole thing is my goal is to create community. And I think now, like after the layer 4, I have 20 some official modern day dragon sayers. And what I love is that there's a few people that are staying, in between the 2 seminars. And I just love how we had someone at the seminar who really, she lost her sister, who is her only family, and very, going through a lot of grieving emotions. And the way the entire community has stood up and looked after her, like she's going out for lunch and she's doing this and that while she's here, and people just looking out for each other. And that really makes my heart sing, is to see as we are all going through these shifts, how we are also creating community, and how we are actually making change, and how people are actually stepping into their power and getting more consistent in doing so. And so it is such a pleasure to connect with you, and I want to thank you so much, and you're very welcome.
All right, thank you, and hello to your girl at home as well.
Yes. Okay. Little Stella here is having fun playing with my necklace. All right. You have a very good day.
Okay. All right, you too. Take care.
Yes. Yes. See you on Friday. That event on Friday night, everyone is welcome. It's free, 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock at the Canada Inn if you happen to be in Kelowna. And what I'm going to talk about, before I started this radio show, I was tuning into like what the weakness is around the politics, etc. And normally I don't talk about politics too much on the show because, you know, politics are politics. Politics are for politicians. I do want to say, though, that what came up as the weakest link is tactics. And so when I opened my book, it went to tactics. And so I'm just going to share a little bit. It's from page 494 in my book, The Truth is Funny Here, regarding tactics. So some of you may be familiar with Edward Snowden, who was an American computer specialist, and he worked for the CIA and the FBI contracted out, and the NSA, and he leaked documents saying that you know that all governments throughout UK, Canada, NSA, Australia, New Zealand, European businesses, governments that were using specific tactics and that would manipulate people and the media and influence the media. And I refer to these tactics as the dirty D's. And I find that they cause a lot of anxiety for a lot of people in the world. But denial is one of them. And denial is making a statement that is not true or asserting that an allegation is false in order to avoid a confrontation with others. And disruption is another one of these dirty D's. Disruption is purposefully preventing a system, process, or event to proceed as usual by creating a disturbance. And degradation is another one. Many people with extraordinary talent have been intentionally subjected to degradation through ridicule, humiliation, and other demeaning tactics to lower their status in society. And deception is another dirty D, is an act of statement intended to dupe, cheat, and deceive people into believing something that is not true. Don't believe in anything. Even if people say believe in yourself, I find after working with many people throughout the world that most people have many limiting beliefs regarding themselves and their abilities, as well as there's a lot of scotoma around who they actually are. And Janet, when you called in and you mentioned, you know, it's funny that that's what, you know, you opened the book up to, because the 4%, we talked about that in the seminar, is that a lot of people say, well, I'll believe it when I see it. But we can only see 4% of the electromagnetic spectrum, and the 96% that most people cannot see. Perhaps that black matter, that black dark energy, has some value, and so it's something that we all need to kind of look into. Destruction is another one of the dirty D's, and destruction is the ultimate goal of those who take action to annihilate something or to destroy the reputation of a person or a group beyond repair or restoration. There's also dissension, which is infiltrating groups and causing conflict and dissension amongst the members, so as to hinder them from accomplishing their goals, or that is a common tactic. And the last one, dissemination. Dissemination is broadcasting information through the media, advertising, public announcements, and speeches to persuade or influence people in one-way communication. And so the good news is, I always have some good news and some bad news in my book. The good news is that now that you are aware of the dirty deeds and their negative effects on you and your loved ones, it is easy to prevent the rhetoric from seeping into your home. One way is either let go of your TV, and you won't have to listen to it, or just choose very wisely what you watch. And the bad news is that the vast majority of people are still unaware of these tactics and unaware. So the nugget of wisdom from the vector is, are you being snowed? Never underestimate the power of willful ignorance. This is Colette Marie Stefan. You're listening to The Truth is Funny on Transformation Talk Radio. We'll be right back after this short break. 1-800-930-2819. Hi, this is Colette Marie Stefan. You're listening to The Truth is Funny on Transformation Talk Radio. I just wanted to mention borderfreebees.com. If you want to create a nectar trail in your neighborhood, you can check that out at borderfreebees.com. I always like to put in a good word for little pollinators out there. And this in the segment before, I was talking about tactics, and this was a chapter in my book in the catalog. And so these tactics are coming up right now because, like in Canada anyway, we have an election coming up. And what I wanted to say is that these tactics are tactics that we have to identify, because we as individuals tend to use them on ourselves. We use them on others. And as we do use these tactics against ourselves and others, we need to recognize that we are the government. we are the ones that if we govern ourselves with dignity and integrity, then we can also expect that from our governments. And so something that really weakens people around this is that when I talk a lot about the authentic self triad, and the authentic self triad is your body, soul, spirit. And so we want to just strengthen that for everyone. What I'm seeing right now, you can find, I should mention, you can find me on social media at The Truth is Funny with Colette, also at Be Irresistible, Energetic Upgrade Canada. And I also have Tales from the Vector Facebook page. I find that as I'm on social media right now, and I'm seeing the situation where this Greta is speaking, and this is a child that's actually speaking regarding climate change. And I just wanted to point out to people from that, when I test this energetically, it's not about climate change. It's not about whether or not you believe in climate change. What this is more about is that there are children that are marching in the streets because they don't feel that the adults are stepping up. And there's a lot of fear out there. So we want to get into a place where we recognize that when children become the adults and adults are acting like children, that it doesn't matter really to me what the issue is out there so much as the fact that that is happening. So, if we look at the situation and we allow ourselves, like in politics or whatever it is, in our relationships with each other, a lot of times the relationships that are happening are the problems with the relationships and the problems with the communication, it quite often can be due to karma. And that can be karma up and down the family line, like ancestral, and it can also be like people's concern for their descendants, and the descendants' concern also for their descendants. And that's what's coming up as the weakest. So, you know, I tend to avoid too much social media for that reason, because for me, the reason I, have decided to do this radio show and speak about these things is because I see the vast improvement in people when they become neutral to whatever issue there is. And if we could all sort of get into a place where there's not so much charge to it. And so I just see a lot of battering on, back and forth, people, making jokes or sarcasm, et cetera, regarding, the politicians, et cetera. And so, none of us really can totally 100% be in a position to understand what it's like to be the leader of a country, unless you're a leader of a country, and also all the underlying issues behind that, all the misinformation and the misinterpretation and the misrepresentation of information out there. So for what was really interesting is what I'm finding is that at the holistic fair, this really came up quite often, is that people generally are bothered because, they'll say, I don't know what my purpose is. And, other people, and there's just, they can't see any choice. They don't see the possibilities in the challenges. And so for others that were there, it was the total opposite. It was just like, there's so many possibilities. It's a challenge to choose one. And so right now we have so much information out there, and we want to strengthen, like if we can identify what we are in alignment with and what we are out of alignment with, life just goes a lot easier. Carter, how many minutes do we have left here now?
We have 4 minutes left in the show. Okay,
so I would just like to energetically take a minute just to, the cat, she wants to have a little stretch here. What I'm doing is just energetically shifting everybody to purposeful communication. So that's with everyone around you, with yourself first and foremost. And we're just going to strengthen. You're not going to be in denial with yourself. You're not going to be distracted from your goals. Just strengthen everybody to that, source energy where every thought belongs. Every single thought that you have belongs to the collective influence. And we want to strengthen for everybody that authentic self triad and the ability to really pull in that energy. And really, what's coming up, the word is tolerance. And so a lot of people are having a lot of trouble tolerating different things that are happening in their life right now because of the speed and then the intensity of it all. And so we just want to get everybody to, take a deep breath and just allow yourself to recognize that at any given moment, you can pull inward and you can get the answer from yourself. And so I'm also just strengthening everybody, to be open-hearted. Open to conversation, open to actually being able to hear what other people are saying, and then also to be able to be listened to and to have the bravery to be yourself and be your authentic self. This is something that we really, really wanted to work on at the seminar. And as I said, it's just so beautiful watching everybody work through some challenges and then come out of it, and they're stronger and empowering others. And so when I say empowering others, I love to empower others to empower themselves. It's more fun hanging around with people who know how to clear their own shift. So I just wanted to say thank you for everyone who's listening now and listening later. And I want to thank Carter once more for all your good work. I've really enjoyed working with you, and welcome, Kat. Next Wednesday, 8 o'clock a.m. Pacific time, we'll be doing another Facebook Live, Tales from the Vector, and we will be doing 3-card readings. Thank you, everyone, and thank you, Pat, for giving us all this opportunity to speak about these wonderful subjects. This is Colette Marie Stefan. Bye for now. We'll see you next Wednesday, 8 o'clock a.m. Pacific time.
You've been listening to The Truth is Funny with Colette Stefan. Tune in to The Truth is Funny with Colette Stefan each Wednesday at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com. Join Colette on the Higher Self Network as she provides energetic shifts and consistent results in every area of life, inspiring listeners to shine their brilliance and ensure success while roaring with laughter as they recognize the humor of the giant cosmic joke. The Truth is Funny. Visit thetruthisfunny.com for more information. That's thetruthisfunny.com.